I'm going to stay behind the camera for a moment. I want you folks to look at that yellow piece of tape. There's a fitting up there. And that fitting has a story behind it. Um, it took me 3 days and $255 to construct this gutter right here. I'm going to take you off the tripod, or I should say the downspout. The gutter I had, I put a rubber roof on with my son, and with my son being more mature, things went a lot smoother with him. But it took me 3 days and $255. This is called Schedule 40. It's 3-inch. Now my story is, I went to 2 different supply houses is all we have in the area. And everything those morons got me was left field. Now, you see this? I have a bunch of these all over the house. Sometimes I don't know which one is which one. But see, I write things down. I came from a technical background, especially the aircraft carrier. Okay, even though today they carry laptops and little computers, pocket-sized computers on the Navy ships, this is still a fail-safe, because you can lose that other shit just as simply as you can lose this in your room or in your shop or your office like I do. But it's still a better method of being literate and learning to write. These morons go right to the CRT. A couple times I called up, yeah, we got that. I get there, they don't got it. So that's costing me time and gasoline. 3 days to construct something that should have took me 2 fucking hours to put together. Okay? Then I got to tell you my Lowe's story. But I went to the one supply house, and he's got this fitting. It's this bigger, like for 10-inch Schedule 40. And I used to prefer what was called vinyl chloride. That's what that rib, this piece. You used to be able to buy this in a pipe form. There was a place not that far away, over towards Freeland, and I could get the pipe. It's softer, and it gives with ice and snow. Now this, I constructed this together. I didn't have any white seam sealer. I was so exhausted. I was so pissed off, I just used the black. I said, look, I don't give a shit. I said, it's costing me so much time dealing with these morons. I can't fathom the people being that butt fucking stupid. Because I found that fitting with the yellow piece of tape in it. Naturally, they put the nice, to remind me that it's made in China. You see the sticker, the barcode and made in China fucking sticker. It kind of disgusts you. It makes you want to puke. And you know, of all the pipe plants we have in the United States, I mean, there's what, Crestline, that's U.S. made. What's the hell's the other one? There's like 3 of them that make PVC pipe, but there's only 2 plants. One's in Southern California. I can't think of the other name of the pipe company, but they're the ones that make the vinyl chloride pipe out there. And then I believe there was a place up near Vermont that was making it, but I think the DEP, you know, the Enviro Zealots, I think they shut it down. And then there was a place in Arkansas, I know it was there, but that burned down maybe about 2007, 2005, somewhere in that mecca, that burned down. So that's not the story. I go over to Lowe's. I wanted to take the camera there, but I'm afraid I was going to explode on somebody. Having PTSD is what I'm getting from dealing with this stuff. It's why I sold my trucks and my tools, because I got out of this because of this shit. Instead of having a fitting like that over near the downspouts and everything, and not to mention all the fittings they had and all the downspouting, there wasn't anything that fucking matched up that wouldn't leak. It was garbage. All garbage. And all made in China. Garbage. You know, you see, China makes things to their metric Euro standard. And then here, when you buy USA made pipe, like, I can't think of the name of it, and it's the popular pipe. It's more popular than Crestline and the other one. Because there's the other one. There's Spartan pipe. There's quite a few that they make the PVC, but the vinyl chloride pipe gives. I put that together with auto body seam sealer because you see, if the ice pushes on it, I have rivets. You can see that there's rivets at certain spots, but I push it together and I use the auto body seam sealer because it tends to give a little bit with ice and snow. And when I was doing construction professionally, my business partner said to me, "You're like part mad rocket scientist that you figure this shit out." Because even if a piece did crack, we were able to get it back apart, clean it out, put the new piece in, and we didn't have to go out and buy every pipe that the whole thing split apart. Because normally it would break at one area, you could get it apart, you didn't have to chisel it, you didn't have to hit it with a hammer. You could just pull on it, let it sit in the sun. I would take MEK, or I would take reducer, because Jack and I did a lot of paint work. I call him JR. His real first name was Jeffrey, but Jack would tell you, call me Jack. He did not like his real father, and he was like that one film character. "You ever call me Jeff, I'll kill you." Okay, Jack, it's Jack. But no, other than that, we were like Wyatt Earp. I was always the Wyatt Earp. He was always the Doc Holliday. He was the wild card. A couple times people got out of hand with him and didn't work out too well for him. They thought because he was skinny that he was a wimp, and he was far from it. I mean, I always out-bulwarked him. I mean, I could lift shit that he couldn't even think of lifting. I mean, now that I'm getting older, I'm not like that. But anyway, I laid this rubber roof. I was very proud of it. I went over to Lowe's. They got the gutter near the roofing, which is at one end of the store. And then if you'd think maybe you'd look where the pipe is, the plumbing pipe, the PVC pipe. That fitting ain't there any. It was near a set of doors on the other end where you would never think of looking for this shit. I'm thinking the world is really being run by fucking morons. And these professional houses, the parts houses, they can't write anything down. I mean, I remember my grandfather at the speed shop. He used to buy paper, tablet paper and stuff, and he used to have my grandmother cut it up into squares in the kitchen with the big scissors so that when we were at the counter there, or he was at the counter, he could write down what you needed. Orange Cat's here. You want to say hello to everybody? He was out all night, catting. I think he's like Dad. Anyway, yeah, my grandmother would spend hours cutting up, this, that, the other thing. Sometimes during hard times, during the winter, she cut up old bills, or she found stuff at where she worked. She worked at a lingerie shop part time, and she brought home stuff from there and cut it up and stuff. So we had notes. People didn't buy a lot in the winter, not for automobiles, not in the Northeast, but they lined up their project and priced things. And then my grandfather kept a record. Oh, Joe Blow wants this, and he would write it then in his big book like I have. Then I have a master book that I would transfer phone numbers, but that's not always 100% when something gets lost in the mix. But that's doing battle. But going to a professional parts house where they're too butt fucking stupid to write something down, sizes. I mean, it was totally out in left field. I told them, it's 4 1/4 inches what I need by 2 3/8, and I'm going to 3-inch schedule 40 pipe. How butt fucking stupid are you that you pull out a fitting this big around with a square top that bigger? How stupid can you be? But here in this area, I'm getting traumatized from this shit. That somebody can be that goddamn ignorant. How can you be that butt fucking ignorant to get somebody something, And I knew right away because it was in a box. He had to order, and everything here. You can't complete anything in one single goddamn day here. They got to order it, or you got to go to Scamazon and you got to wait. So when you have an immediate need and you have the time, and that's why a lot of people's houses that they're falling into disrepair and they're a wreck. I mean, they got a whole bunch of these special people that barely cope and understand English down here at Sherwin-Williams, and there's how much bad paint that they mix because they can't read to mix paint. They don't know sizes, they don't know ounces, they don't know jack. Sorry, Jack. He's up there somewhere probably laughing his ass off at this. Might as well stuff my pockets with June bugs and cockroaches. It's like a curse. But anyway, I'm trying to clean up after that, but I figured I'd make this video and vent because, like I said, A professional parts house hires losers. They can't even write a size down and interpret what you need. Well, maybe I don't buy a whole lot there, so I'm not that important of a customer. Well, I'm going to buy a whole fucking lot less. I just let them know that. And I told them, I says, I had a big development. I was building houses. And when I got back from this shit with Iraq and after everything that was done with me, I just sold everything off. I don't want to deal with people. And I sure as hell don't want to deal with this stuff in my old age. So, thanks for putting up with my video. But a simple job that should have took me one trip to one supply house and a couple hours to put it up took me 3 fucking days. Because I live in a town where they screw faster down at the nursing home than you can get from one end of this town to the other with the stoplights. And now with the road construction, you got to be a road rally champion just to get from one end of this town these days to the other. I mean, they got every goddamn road screwed up that you go down. You got, and if you don't know the town, we got this where you got 3 or 4 one-ways all in a row. You don't even have another street to go down. I mean, whoever engineered this town is definitely Happy the Clown. Well, I mean, if you walk in the mayor's office, you're going to be able to tell Happy the Clown is there. Just walk in there. I have. That fucking mayor we got and whoever else is working in there, they're all fucking Looney Tunes. But anyway, thanks for watching my videos, and I just figured I would share my lows and my warehouse, going to professional parts houses, plumbing stores. They can't even get it right. Our future is really doomed. It really is. Sorry to say. And no wonder our kids, they don't want nothing to do with this technical shit. Because even some stuff I ordered on the computer and it's not the size and the dimensions that, you know, especially Amazon and eBay. eBay, some of this stuff, I'm looking for vinyl lettering kits. It just says large vinyl lettering kit. Well, are they 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch? I mean, what fucking morons? That's the kind of world we're living in. And I think that's why a lot of people like me get unhinged right away with this. Especially, I've had other people and I've had them call me, or I dealt with them again and they were a little calmer or a lot calmer. It's this stuff that affects people. It does. Thanks for watching my videos, people.